Dubai, the Broncos signed a free agent today. You know, what's the position I said they've needed to add depth to for a long, long time?
Defensive line.
Defensive line, and that's what they did today. The Broncos signed Antonio Smith. He's a 10-year veteran. He's played for Houston. He's played for Arizona. He's played for the Raiders, most recently the Raiders. They signed Antonio Smith, a defensive lineman, to a one-year, $2 million deal. I'm told the Broncos have had between $5 and $7 million under the cap to play with before the draft. They used $2 million of it on Antonio Smith.
And they used 1.7 on the. His salary will be about 1.7.
Gradkowski, yeah.
Gradkowski?
Yeah.
I thought he was one of the brothers, as you did.
So essentially, I mean, they picked up two guys who are going to, we think, contribute a lot in the next season. The center, who is going to be vying for the starting position, and now Antonio Smith, a proven veteran in this league. He's got almost 45 sacks in his career, his 10-year career.
And he's supposed to. Yesterday, you were out front of this. You brought up his name on the program yesterday, and I said if Jack Del Rio didn't like him and let him go, released him. The Raiders released him, so he doesn't count against those compensatory picks that you get every year. When guys are released, and so neither one of these players will count against them next year, and counting for them will be all the players that have left.
Yeah.
So you're so excited about the 4 extra picks they get this year. It's possible they could get 5 or 6 next year.
I'm excited about the extra picks because I think they can then use their own picks and move up in the draft. They don't want 10 draft picks, Woody. They don't want to pay all that money out to rookies, all those signing bonuses. They don't want 10 draft picks. They will. I guarantee you, they will trade.
There's not 10 guys out there that will be available in the 7th round and the 6th. I think you got 3 picks in the 7th round. Really? Do you think those guys will make the team?
Not all of them. Here's the other thing about Antonio Smith. You might look at him and say, well, Jack Del Rio didn't want him, and the Raiders cut him, and blah, blah, blah. The fact of the matter is, I've done a little research on this. He's supposed to be a really good locker room guy. That always helps, right? Number 2, because they've lost some good locker room guys like Terrence Knight.
Good locker room in Oakland.
And number 2, just because the Raiders cut him doesn't mean he can't play anymore. So much of what's done in this league, you know this, is based on money and salary cap. He was going to be a $4 million hit against the salary cap. The Raiders this offseason have picked up Dan Williams, a free agent who they're paying a lot of money to, a guy from Arizona. And they've got a guy going into his 2nd year they're very, very excited about. Can't recall his name. But they feel they have enough on the defensive line that they don't need to take a $4 million cap hit on a veteran, Antonio Smith. He's going to be a rotation guy. He's not going to start ahead of Derek Wolfe. He's not going to start ahead of Malik Jackson. But he's going to be in the rotation.
That's good. They needed some depth there. You were right. I was trying to think, the reason why I hesitated, I was trying to think who would be the backups there. Because they moved Marcus DeWare.
Or DeMarcus Ware.
To linebacker, they were taking away a starting end last year. So I looked at the depth chart the other day, and it was really important that they did add a little depth there, veteran experience, because when Mitch Unrain didn't come back, we had it looked like to me and probably to you that they did need some help at defensive end because it's a totally different system. It's more of a gap 2 system where you try and find a spot in between. It's an old Dallas Cowboys defense, basically, where you play gap defense rather than head up. And so they need somebody that's got a little bit of mobility, somebody that can come in and, as you say, spell. We don't know about, let's face it. Do we want to say this loud? Derek Wolfe hasn't been a real treat.
Considering how high he was taken in the draft, 2nd-round draft pick, had illness problems. He had a problem at the end of the 2013 season. I don't. So far, would you call him a disappointment?
Oh, totally. Yeah. He was not a first-round draft choice. That's when they traded back early into the 2nd round. But he would have been considered a first-round draft choice. I think when you go 40 players, those are all first-round draft choice types. They should be a first-round draft choice type. You're not going to get somebody at that point that's going to probably be an all-pro, but you want somebody that will be a dependable starter, and that's about all you can call him.
That's a good way to put it. Dependable starter, not going to make Pro Bowl.
Mediocre is
not a
word,
bust,
I think.
somewhere in between.
He's a mediocre starter. He's not impact player.
Any other guy? Or a little better than any other guy?
Malik Jackson is, I think, twice the player he is.
He certainly has the potential, it looks like.
And he's come off the bench throughout his career here. And I really like him. He's a significant pass rusher, gets to the quarterback, smart player. Derek Wolfe hadn't shown me really anything. He's mediocre. Just another guy.
Let's see what happens this year. He's got a healthy offseason.
Well, we have no choice, Les. We have to see what happens this year. They've got now Antonio Smith. If he is what you advertise him as, a good locker room guy,
dependable veteran, yeah.
He could probably push Derek Wolfe out of the lineup a lot.
Yeah, he'll definitely be a rotation guy. First segment was brought to you by Harmony Foundation. It's Colorado's premier treatment program for drug and alcohol addiction. They are located just outside of Estes Park, if you're not familiar. They're on a very, very pretty 45-acre mountain campus. It's a very nice place to go if you need to. It is insurance friendly, so visit harmonyfoundationinc.com if you feel the need or you know somebody that does have the need.